My Atari! Turn off all the lights and bask in the glory of a 2-bit sprite. I stood in line when I was 9, bought burger time and left the world behind. And out my speakers, Hubert speaks, won't offend my peepers cause his words are bleak. My Atari's on a stand with an uneven height, so I use my Xbox just to prop it up right. My Atari still works after all these years, from when it first appeared on sale at Sears. We'll be together forever. I named it Heather and I'll never get sick of pushing the reset lever. My Atari! My Atari! Yo, what's up?
My Atari! Driving down the street at night, now I'm bumping and jumping to a staggering height. It always brightens up
my day.
And just last
Friday,
I found myself trying to kill a frog on the highway. You can't go
wrong
with games like
Pong.
When on pitfall, the snake
bit me
in the
Pong.
And I slide left and right, I'm putting up a fight with shields dwindling and space invaders in my sight. And now I'm just sitting here catching some bombs.
I can play while on the toilet cause my phone is the ROMs. My Atari! My Atari! Now, me and my Atari play the illest games. I like to duck and jump over dragon flames. We slay all dragons, red, yellow, and green. And the bat carries corpses from screen to screen. Out of space and underground when I play my game. I shoot everything, it all looks the same. I'm set on expert every game I play. Even Strawberry Shortcake has me playing all day. My Atari! My Atari!
Now the games that I possess have quite a range. Myself, I've got 400 games. I play Taz a lot, Chili eats his fill, and then Kool-Aid Man when it's time to get ill. Donkey Kong, man, I got the high score before Mario dunked Pauline for that horn.
My Atari didn't always bring good games. Pac-Man was lame cause Drew's Revenge was insane. And I hope the Reese's cause an allergy for E.T. cause that's the game that brought down the whole industry. Had a party that I threw for all the boys. We played asteroids till we could hemorrhoids. My Atari lets me play with the stick in my lap, with a couple teeth marks cause I needed a snap. Whether in a space battle or rustling cattle, you won't see me without my joystick or paddle. My Atari!
the funk train. How you doing tonight, Johnny?
Oh, just peachy. How you doing, Vinny?
Don't ask me that. You know. You know.
Vinny's a little sour still. Maybe from the way we ended the last episode, maybe, possibly.
I don't even remember. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that was so long
much
ago.
life has
So
happened.
long ago.
Now, the main event of this evening, and we hope you guys stick around. This is an experiment. You guys may hate this, but if you like Atari, this is something you need to pay attention to, because somebody reached out to John, and John did a one of those rise and falls of Atari videos that these content creators always make to get a lot of views, to see whether he has any new information. But John has a small computer, and he had to cut off around the Jaguar, and this guy reached out and said, "Hey, you're missing a big chunk of time." And it is funny, if you even get the 50th anniversary collection Digital Eclipse put out a year and a half ago. It's a fantastic, basically a celebration of Atari, but it kind of limps, wouldn't you agree, John, through the 7800 and kind of the Lynx, and it did okay with the Jaguar, but it kind of, after the Jaguar, we have no idea what happened to Atari for years, correct?
Yeah, it really did seem to drop off after the Jaguar, which I think they covered the Jaguar pretty good.
Yeah.
The 7800 was okay. They did a good job with that. No, disagree.
Yeah, it's the best system of all time, and they just they were like, here's 6 games and a punch in the mouth, suck on it. That's what they basically said.
Yeah, I think the Jaguar was definitely represented, but after that, you're right. It kind of fell off a cliff. Like, okay, you got this. I think they mentioned maybe what happened in a sentence, and then they jumped to
them.
Yeah.
So and now I guess so. This guy reached out to you.
Yep.
His name is Jayson Hill. There's no reason to kayfabe his name, because everybody knows, because it's on the poster that you made, or the little placard for today. But this character was with Hasbro Interactive during the late 90s, and then when Infogram, which he told us how to pronounce it, they finally let him go, because they were all trying to kick these guys out, basically the old employees when the French took over, them damn French. I'm going to go, after this interview, I've started calling them freedom fries again. But it was an interesting look at what Hasbro thought of Atari, what they were trying to do with Atari. And I'm not sure how you edited this video. We have like an hour and 10-minute video. This guy was an Atarian. He loved Atari. Me and you got along with him great. We could have talked all day.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy. I think that was the best part, was how, I mean, he's just one of us, but he has a lot more, insider knowledge, I guess.
And he might have actually saved the brand. I mean, he was for a few years, he was like the one employee that was trying to tell people, like, hey. So, and hello, everybody in the chat. God bless you and all that stuff. So, I don't know what you want to do, if you want to talk for a little bit and then hit the interview at some point. But that's the main event of today, because I think it's very educational. And if you are an Atarian, it's definitely something you need to think about, because they tried and they had a failed business opportunity. You'll find out about this when he's doing the interview. And if it worked, Atari might have came back, 20-something years ago, and it just was a failed business venture.
Yeah, they had some ideas that were, it sounds like Hasbro had, and I keep saying Hasbro, it's Hasbro.
It's down in Ohio.
Yeah, it's at Ohio. It's a Toledo thing, not even Ohio. I won't.
Hasbro over here off of I-81.
Yeah, you go down I-75 and you hit Hasbro. No, but they were planning something probably 20 years too early. I mean, when did gaming services start to hit, really? Was that 2010s, maybe? And
maybe it was about 10 years, but it was or 15. But we'll let the man
Yeah, we can just jump right in. I did edit it down to about 14 minutes. We did talk, like Vinny said, for almost an hour. I think 40.
Over.
Well, we had that we didn't record a lot of that. It was 48 minutes, I think, recorded. But we did sit down and talk for a long time afterwards, which was
there was
cool.
a lot of sexual tension. There was a lot of sexual talk that was not recorded. Thank God.
I had to shut it off for the sake of the viewers. I mean, this is
also you're
channel.
you're running for city council up there in Toledo at some point, so you don't want to have all that nastiness.
But I did try to keep in the key points, the most important things, and of course, afterwards, if you want to see the other 30 minutes of the interview, if you're interested, Vinny will have it on your channel, I believe before mine, and I'll have the full interview up on Thursday of next week. So
we can do it both at the same time. I don't care. I don't want to jump ahead of you.
You can jump ahead of me.
No, you're just being too nice.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man, if you want to get in now, we'll play the interview, and we'll if in the chat somebody has something to say, or they have a question, we can stop the interview.
And I figured me and you could stop it too if we want to add in something or whatever. We'll be off to the side here.
If there's an emergency in the chat, somebody needs to use the restroom, feel free. If there is a 911 emergency, we will stop the chat and direct everybody from the chat into the exits, so we can get outside and reconvene.
Yeah, please take note of the nearest exits, and let's go ahead and start it. And
Jayson Hill.
What a man!
So this is exciting, John. We've got a picture in a picture. We're doing an interview inside of a podcast.
Hey, I know that guy.
What you have found is a gentleman who basically did a video a couple weeks ago about the end of Atari, and a gentleman reached out to you and said, "Hey, I existed during this black hole."
I kind of feel like you already said this, Vinny.
And this just came out a year and a half ago. This one, everybody's praised this thing. It's the Atari 50th anniversary celebration, and it goes from the 70s to the late 90s.
Yeah.
But the biggest question is, what happened after the Jaguar? And nobody ever talks about it. So we've got a guy who was a PR guy, if I've got it right, a guy who worked for Hasbro Interactive, which owned Atari. Basically, Atari at this point was some sort of cadaver, or it was they transferred the life force into another avatar Frankenstein body, and then the Hasbro Interactive basically went into Infogrames, or however you pronounce that French company or wherever they're from. But this was, and nobody talks about what they did. And we've got a guy right here, right now. Is that, am I hearing that correctly?
Jayson Hill is the gentleman here. And he reached out to me after my last video. Yeah, just to pause real quick. There's going to be a lot of odd cuts like that. Just play along, pretend like it's live. Like Vinny said, but you were more concerned about the Hasbro era of Atari. That's correct?
That's correct. I was hired by Atari Hasbro back in '99, and we don't get much credit for having existed and keeping the brand alive for a few years until it kept moving on.
What was the periods that you were kind of there at Hasbro?
I got to kind of set this up for you. Set the Wayback Machine for 1995. Hasbro decides it's going to put it together an interactive division, and they make Hasbro Interactive. They also bought a domain called games.com. Well, they started exploiting their IPs, Monopoly, Tonka. They had all of Milton Bradley, all of Parker Brothers. So you can imagine all the games that they had. Well, in 1998, JTS, that group that followed the Tramiels for owning Atari, sold all the IPs they had in the brand of Atari to Hasbro Interactive. This is spring of 1998. All right. A year later, they're trying to put together a few games. They're trying to get some things going. And that's when I got hired on to do the public relations for Atari Interactive. And also they licensed some Namco stuff and some Sega stuff. They did Frogger. which was a really big hit for them. And as you can imagine, this was the CD era, so they were getting beyond that, having to buy the cartridge and so forth, and that big investment that came with every game by using a CD instead. So I was hired on in May 1st of 1999, and I was Atari's PR manager right through till January of 2001, when Infogrames, and you just drop the ES on the id on that French pronunciation, took over. Was that division was sold by Hasbro to them with all intellectual properties at that point.
So at one point, Hasbro Interactive owned every Atari IP that Atari Incorporated owned at that point.
Everything that was Atari, right through the Jaguar, was transferred to Hasbro Interactive for a grand sum of $5 million, I think, at the time. It looks like a bargain.
I want to highlight this too. We did not talk about the Jack Tramiel sale and everything, but again, Justin from Atari IO coming in. Is that showing up good on the screen?
Yeah.
I've also always heard that Jack Tramiel had to launder Atari through the reverse merger with JTS, Indian hard drive manufacturer, before it could be sold to Hasbro, because the books were so badly off. That's another part. I mean, I'd love to get into that if we could contact somebody, because I know Jack, Happy Jack had to have been doing some crazy off the book stuff.
You just look how terrible they were mismanaged at the end. I mean, why would you have the 2600, 5200, 7800 Lynx and Jaguar all in the XE all competing with themselves? It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know. It was a disaster at the end. But we're going to have Lance Rehnquist here. Lance. From Video 61, Rehnquist.
Yeah,
and he's got an interesting perception over this era too. But we'll get into that stuff later.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's a good point there, Justin. Again, that's he was never able to confirm it, but I think we all kind of know
now. Yeah, it was changed at that point.
Okay, so what Atari games were released during your tenure there?
That's what I was going to ask.
The very first one was an updated Centipede, and I don't know if you can see the thing behind me right there, but that was the first of the Atari games, and it was updated. It contained the original game, but it also had a 3D game on it, and it was released first, oddly enough, on the Dreamcast.
Oh, wow.
And then it was the PlayStation 1. I don't remember if anything else got that or not. But anyway, that was the first game that they came out with. They went on to do updated that Pong, the next level.
Yep.
They did Missile Command, which they didn't say it was the next level, but it was an updated one, or so forth. There was Breakout. What did they call that? Anyway, several that were Atari themed, and they even did a compilation. And I think
pause there. So he's mentioning these games that Hasbro re-released, John. So I never played any of those. Did you play any of those?
I played Pong, and I think that's really it. But what was interesting, I went through, I did some more research after this, and they did, like he was listing off, they did the Missile Command. They also apparently licensed out Asteroids to Activision, which seems like a really weird move. But I wish I could have asked him about that, because I didn't find that out till after the interview. I'd show it to you guys, but it's kind of off behind me. I picked up that game and a few others. So
what did you think of the Pong game? Pretty good?
Yeah, I really liked Pong the Next Level. I thought it was... So it felt like Pong, it kind of got a little too cute. I think you had like penguins and stuff on the screen, and they would basically act as, kind of just to mess you up. They'd randomly move about. They'd start out moving up and down, and eventually they kind of dance around the screen, and they're just there to put you off your game,
They're obstacles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rules of Pong otherwise were unchanged, so it kind of added an element of.
Was there like
that
a
wasn't my
one-player
fault.
mode? Was there like a one-player mode
Yeah.
where you try to? Okay, well, see, I
Yep,
mean,
and-
that's interesting.
And it was kind of tried to be a story, but I think the story was pretty much you're the paddle and you're jumping from world to world. If I remember, it's been years and years though.
Okay.
So,
Well, it'd be interesting to see how they compare with the newer Recharge games. See if people like those better or the old.
yeah, actually, that would be a good comparison. That's a good idea.
Good idea. All right, let's keep it rolling.
Been the first compilation of Atari games on a console, which was PS1, if I remember correctly.
My one question: how did the Centipede and Pong? How did those do for Hasbro? Were they successful or
They did not do bad, but
Okay.
they were not great hits by any means. And we got a little bit of pushback of you're ruining the game because you're updating it. You always get that whenever you do something to it. But
Right.
one of the things that was kind of interesting is, remember I told you in 1995 they picked up this domain, games.com.
Yeah.
Atari was to have been heavily featured on that service if it had gotten fully functional. I don't know if y'all remember the .com bubble and what happened during that time.
Yeah.
Atari, Hasbro dumped about $100 million into games.com.
Oh wow.
Do y'all remember the South Park episode Underpants Gnomes?
Yeah.
You had, collect underpants, unknown sinner, profits.
Yep.
Well, the games.com was kind of the same thing. They dumped $100 million into it, and they didn't really know how they were going to make the money off of it.
Wow.
But at least that was the impression I got. That's my understanding of it. These were all supposed to be a really casual pick up and play games, and Atari would have fit perfectly into this, as you can imagine. And that's one reason they had bought all the IPs, is that with games.com, this it would have been perfect match up with that. In the end, you with that $100 million investment, which is, like I said, the one number I kind of remember out of Hasbro, they weren't seeing any return, and it was at that point they decided to sell off to Infogrames. And they ended up selling everything, including the Atari brand, for about $100 million. January of 2021, I think, was the year.
So they just wanted their
2021?
money back. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to get out with their money,
Yeah.
get their money back and get out of the business. Hasbro Interactive had also bought things like Microprose.
He keeps jacking up the. God bless his heart. He keeps jacking up
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not 2021. It was 2001. But
And
anyway,
we do correct it, but we didn't want to.
Hold on. I gotta.
Vinny's going down, guys. He's flatlining.
I have to respond. There may be somebody in trouble.
That sounds important. Go ahead. He kind of messed up the date there. He said 2021 there. I believe he says 2022 later, but he means 2002, 2001. That's kind of the era Infogrames took over. We'll keep the video playing while Vinny is checking on whoever just went down.
Who did the Civilization series of games. They did a B-17 game where you could play any of the positions. They did a lot of different things. They had XCOM, which
and who was that? That was
Microprose.
Okay. XCOM's they're still making those.
Yeah, that's a big
They
one.
are indeed.
Yeah.
I think Civilization's still around too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I try to get into that. I'm not smart enough for that. And
I've never been that kind of gamer either.
Right.
I want to be, and I'm like, why is Gandhi blowing me up with atom bombs? I don't understand what's happening. They sold to Infogrames.
Yeah.
They sold it in 2001 so they didn't really lose any money. That's very fascinating. But even though that you guys only Hasbro was only around for what was that, 2 years? You guys
with Atari part of Hasbro Interactive had been around since 1995. Like I said, they did not get hold of the Atari IP until 1998.
So they had it for three. That you got Hasbro Interactive had it for 3 years.
Correct.
Did you get the feeling that Hasbro understood Atari, that they knew what they had with the brand, or?
I'm going to tell you a little story to illustrate kind of what happened. They bought it, of course, like I said, $5 million, chump change, really. But their legal department found out I had been an Atari historian and kept coming to me going, "Do we own this IP?" I kid you not. It was an odd thing. And what happened is that, over time after Infogrom took over the company, really they only wanted the IP. They did not want the studio. They did not want the people. So over time, they got rid of everybody. I lasted until November of 2022. Others lasted a little longer. Apparently,
he meant 2002. He said 2022, but
though legal kept coming over to PR going, "Do we own this?" And I'm going, "Y'all always told us this." I go, "No, Jason always told you that." So,
and you said 2022. I assume you meant 2002.
Oh, excuse me, 2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been an Atari fan. Let me ask you this, and we may go back, John, if you want to ask some more questions. But what do you think of Atari now? In the last 2 years, what's been coming out with Wade Rosen in the game?
Well, I've been enjoying there's some fun stuff out there. I have a VCS 800 and I have a 2600 plus. I've got oddly enough, I bought everything. I bought the three. To my right is one of the big upright arcade 1-up.
Oh, okay.
50th anniversary.
Yeah.
I also bought the
the game station.
The game station and the little
okay.
Arcade things, both the Nano and the Micro, I think is what the two are.
Yep.
And
you're a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's real hip with what's going on.
My
we
most
all
prized
do, trust me.
possession is I have a Pong unit from the very first one that they put out, signed by Nolan Bushnell and Bob Brown, who was the engineer on that one. So
now what is your address? No, I'm just kidding. The point that I think the problem that you might have had back then, I was going to ask you this too, is Centipede. There's kind of like things can get old and then they become like 10 more years, they become alive again, if that makes sense. It seems like the Centipede Pong breakout, when you were there, people were like, look, Atari was shoving this down our throats repeatedly for a decade. Enough with the Centipede. We want to get involved with Mario and shooting people with first person shooters. Did you think that was some of the problem you had too back then?
It may have been, and again, we had some pushback even from some old Atari designers, which I would meet out at Classic Gaming Expo. They go, "Why are you trying to mess up my game?" Because it really didn't need fixing. It was fine the way it was. And of course, we're going, yeah, but nobody wants to buy it the way it was because they already bought it 5 times, like you said. Another little story. The moment we
pause there. Okay, so Justin again from Atari IO. So he's confirming the no paperwork problem that happened with some of these Atari IPs. Now, I wonder if that's how some of those got away. Like we were talking about Battlezone last month, if that was one that just got away or if they actually sold it or whatever. But I wonder if that's like what happened with some of these games that aren't on these compilations that were like, why is this missing?
Well, and I and it makes a lot of sense because, like you said, I think they did sell Battlezone, but I think a lot of the stuff that they were afraid to use because nobody knew. I mean, they didn't know if they still own the rights to a lot of this stuff.
Too many chefs.
Exactly. Well, and the probably biggest problem was the main chef was, kind of he was more concerned about the main dish and didn't care about anything else, in
Zorba?
his mind. Yeah.
You know who's Zorba from Food Fight? Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another great point. Justin, he knows so much about the Trammell era and Atari in general. I'm glad he's in on this one.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, and he said Battlezone was sold off not that long. So did Atari have Battlezone up until not that long ago?
Why would they? I guess it was before the way because Atari now knows the value of their IPs, so they wouldn't have sold it recently with the new leadership.
Gotcha. Okay, let's you want to start playing it again? You got anything else?
No,
okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Atari, and I still got in there and was, I was recognized, of course, at the time as being one of the retro gamers out there who was a big collector. We'll get into that collection thing later if you want to. But the first thing that was asked was, when are y'all putting out a new system?
Yeah.
Well, Hasbro had no interest in putting out a new system. They were, wanted to do some games and, exploit their IPs, but they had no interest in doing a system at all. But everybody thinks the moment Atari comes back to life in some new iteration, that the moment they should do a new system.
Atari needed to be put in timeout after the Jaguar and them botching. In my opinion, they botched the Lynx. The Lynx was a superior system for once.
It was
in that niche, and they didn't know what to do with it. And it's like, God, you guys had the keys to the kingdom in the portable universe, and you botched it. So just sit on the side for about 20 years and then come back. So, yeah.
Well, some would say that's exactly what they did.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. So then I'm kind of getting hints of it. So the culture at Hasbro was very confused about Atari, what to do with it, or
again, they had ideas.
Time out
on the field. Now go down to Justin's comment again. Now, what did we see a couple weeks ago, John?
What was that?
Read what John. I know you can move your mouth. I know you're from Toledo.
So you want me to read this one? Atari had Battlezone until a few years ago when it was sold off under Fred.
Sound it out. CH. Yeah.
Chess. Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. You nailed that one, man.
I got
That's
it.
impressive.
I did. That Toledo education is coming through. Done me good. I heard a few weeks ago, Atari recently got it back. I don't know for sure.
Now, didn't we just see that a Battlezone was in one of these collections?
Oh, it was. Was it shown off in the 400 mini video?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they had to have gotten it back. So that's. I'm glad we got that one back.
I'm glad I could figure out where you were going with that because
I was just trying to lead you there.
I know you did a good job.
These are all your people. Nobody watches my channel. Everybody likes you. I want you to be the one to hit the damn home run. I'm just here to sell peanuts.
Vinny, show Vinny some love in the chat. Tell him how much you appreciate him here.
No, they don't.
No,
I see how many people come to my channel, how many people go to yours.
Vinny,
I know who's selling. I know who the moneymaker is.
I'll tell you what, they might have met you through me, but you're the better looking girlfriend where they're looking at you the whole time.
There's something wrong. I put out a weird stink, or I don't do.
Well, you got a shower, but
I don't.
They can't smell you.
I don't do the oral sex properly or something. There's something wrong.
It's a lot of tongue.
Too many teeth. Too much teeth.
That's why, because I'm losing mine. That's why they like it. All right, let's get. We got, I think, like 2 minutes left here of the interview.
Let's end this
strong.
Wanted to put it into games.com. They wanted to keep, putting out games, but again, the .com bubble probably killed us. Is what really killed us. They may have kept doing better things. I would hope they did.
Yeah.
We never got a chance to see that, of course. But .com bubble came along and everybody said, wow, we've just thrown $100 million down a rat hole.
So I'm thinking, is there anything, Jayson, before we wrap up here that maybe you were hoping we'd touch on and we didn't get to?
I think we got it to all of it. Again, we're talking about a very short period of time here, really.
Yep.
And again, the fact that we got both the Lynx and the Jaguar into the public domain during that time. If Hasbro didn't do another thing, at least they did that.
That was huge.
I'm hoping that fans for the future will appreciate that, at least from Hasbro.
So thank you so much, Jayson, for being on here. Very interesting stuff. And like I said, we'll have you on again sometime. And I need help with that video, so stay in touch.
Okay. John, Benny, nice to have met you.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Later, Jayson. No.
That was it. What now?
Did I get the part where he touched on Hasbro putting out the rights to the Jaguar? Was that mentioned in there?
No, I mean you're here. Did you not hear it? I mean, of course not.
Well, I
You
was
didn't-
trying to do, I was trying to do something nice for you. I was trying to get your link to your channel and
I'm
put
just
it.
kidding. I don't give a shit about that. Just
No,
worry about the
no.
people watching the
No,
show.
listen to what the people want. Look, right, where is it?
Don't worry about me. Worry about Jayson Hill. I'm
Yeah,
okay.
he did a great job though, and that's a very small portion of the interview. We wanted to keep it down to like 10, 15 minutes, which I kind of wish I would have done 20 now because he had so much to say.
Well,
But
they can watch the whole damn thing on my channel or your channel, and
absolutely.
they can be caught. It is an education, and it is something. You know, Kurt Vendel passed away unfortunately
Yeah,
4 or
rest
5,
his
and
soul.
he was a huge conduit to that era, to eras of Atari, and like people like Justin, and there are a few people who know, but there aren't very many people who know firsthand. It's starting to become the game of telephone, right? Like I read a website that said this. Now I'm the aficionado, and I'm regurgitating what somebody wrote on the internet. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they really know. That was a guy who knew, and it is a dark period. And if we look at why maybe the Atari 50th anniversary celebration didn't mention any of that, maybe there's a lot of legal stuff with Hasbro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they can't. But what's interesting, John, now that we're talking about it, why, if Hasbro sold their IPs, did they sell those Hasbro Interactive versions of the games? And could have those been put on the Atari 50th anniversary celebration? So could Pong Quest or Pong the Next Level and their version of Centipede and their version of Missile Command, could that be on a Digital Eclipse?
We should ask Jayson that, because we can still reach out to him. That's a great thing. That's an idea. They have to own the rights to those, right?
Why would they keep them if they were if they were trying to? Because the whole thing, and I guess when you watch the entire interview, you'll get this: is they bought Atari because the internet was raging at that point, and everybody was like, "Hey, we're going to be able to play video games through Java," and Atari games were kind of simple.
Yep.
And they bought this thing called Games.com, and people back then did not know how to make money with websites, and there was a lot of people that you caught the .com boom and the .com bust. People spent a lot of money. You know, Time Warner spent millions and millions and millions of dollars acquiring AOL, if everybody remembers, and it actually tanked Warner Brothers because somebody somewhere, it was like a chimpanzee came in the room and they went, "What does AOL own? Why did we just pay $100 million for AOL?" And then somebody went, "Wait a minute, they're not worth shit." And then that's when everything tanked. So it was kind of the same thing with this games.com. It just didn't work right.
No, I think it was too soon, really. I think they had a solid idea. And Jayson kind of, he made that joke, you know, they bought the stuff and then question mark profit. They kind of had the idea. I'd have to think it was like an infrastructure thing where, you know, over dial-up, think about what era we're talking about, 1998, 99, 2000. I know I think we just got our first computer, me personally, then. We had dial-up internet. So how many games could you really play online?
Well, I mean, that was the era of when you had those GeoCities and Angel Fire websites.
Right.
And you could make your own website, and everybody put like the spinning stars and stuff. But that you could actually add those little games. You could add like little stupid Java-based games, like a little Pong thing or whatever.
Yeah, and I guess games like we talked about with him, you know, Adventure and Centipede and stuff could have mostly worked on that. It's just and again, we kind of he didn't have the answers because there really wasn't any. Like, would it be subscription based? Would it, you know, would you pay for?
They didn't know about ads, you know. That's what sold it. And again, it's probably too early to have numbers to get people to spend money on ads. Now that's what, you know, YouTube. I try to watch one of your videos. You're so GD popular now. It's like I got to watch a girl scrubbing her ass with a loofah trying to sell me a soap, and then another one comes on. Somebody's on a Australian flight. And
that's
I'm like,
good soap, by the way. They're sponsoring
and I'm sitting there going, I just want to know about the red boxes on the Atari 2600 games.
Yeah, like you didn't know, but yeah, Jayson was so cool too. I mean, I think me and you, we both to be completely honest, we got in an interview, we didn't know what Jayson had to say or how much he knew. We were kind of met him. I talked to him a bit, and I told you how cool he was, and I thought it could work, and I think it was even better than me and you could have imagined. So I can't wait for everybody to watch the full interview because it's
a lot of these guys are not good interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the information, but they're just sitting there going, so I like programming computers. And you're just like, yeah, come on,
Yeah.
get it out, honey. We know you got it in there. But like what was weird too, he worked in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that's where they made the Odyssey, the Magnavox Odyssey.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I lived in Knoxville for decades. I didn't know that.
And the building he was working out of was the one that
my grandmother used to hook in front of.
Yeah, right in front of, and he actually never mind.
He might have knew her.
he took her out for a nice seafood dinner one night.
We used to have the spaghetti warehouse downtown. He probably took her out there.
But yeah, tons more in the full interview, and again, it'll be on Vinny's channel first. I'll make sure of that. So go head over to Big and Funky Productions YouTube channel. I'll have a link in the description of the chat. But we as good as that interview is, and as much as I like to talk about Jayson all night, and we will later, there's other stuff going on in the Atari community, Vinny, and something that I think you broke to me, and I think you were really excited for.
What, Pong is your
Pong
100th
is
favorite?
my 100th favorite. No, it's number one.
Okay.
No.
What did I break? What did I break to you? I forgot.
You brought to me that a new 7800 prototype was found.
Oh, well, and Justin's here, and that's where I got it from. So, yeah, Justin over at Atari IO made it because I don't think Lance has a lot of
breaking news.
But yeah, there's a new Atari 7800 prototype possibly found. Lance found a bunch of EPROMs, and for anybody who doesn't know, EPROMs are magic little metal things that have gypsies and the power of the Holy Spirit. And when you plug that into something a shaman blesses, video games can be played. And normally it's a box of some sort with colors on it and buttons. And I don't know what the fucking EPROM is, but basically the things. So, Lance, and we're going to have Lance on soon. He's kind of camera shy.
Yeah.
But Lance was a guy, an interesting fellow. We know him now for Video 61. He makes video games for Video 61. And you gave him a 1-star review. And it's probably why he's not coming on the show, you asshole, for Delta Space Arena. And that game.
No, I didn't.
That game is much better than a 1-star.
I gave it 2.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, which means it's flawed.
Pretty hurtful. And it's not that bad, but anyway, we'll get into that later. So he makes those, but what's more interesting about Lance, and it's cool that he's making games, and we love to play all the games we can, and he's doing a good job over there at Video 61, is that he was a distributor for so many years. And at one point, he was the only distributor, and at one point, people were coming to him with the bag, wanting him to pay for the money. Atari bills, and he's like, I'm not an employee of Atari. But somehow he acquired all this Atari stock, and he got all these EPROMs and old computers and stuff. And really, Lance, he's going through, he was just going through a bunch of stuff. And you can read this. Lance has this on his blog, and an entire story.
Oh, yeah.
Justin may be able to help in the chat with the link, maybe. If Justin can find that, it'd be awesome, man. But it's a link to Lance's blog, and you can read. He found one road. He found one Road Riot 4-wheel drive game, EPROM. It just said Riot.
Yep.
And everybody's assuming that it's Road Riot because we knew Riot was supposed to be released for the 7800, and it was near completed. But the problem is sometimes you have to have multiple EPROMs for this thing to work right, and it
Yep.
may not be the finished product. So he's still got to horse around and see if he can make it work.
And that and likely it's not the finished product, but
well, thanks a lot.
Well,
is Santa Claus real? Is Jesus never coming back? Are the Jets never winning the Super Bowl? Just ruin it all.
Well, no, but there is something. I mean, like we there's plenty of unfinished games that we've had. Pop up Rampart for the 7800, and the one where the guys walk around the screen and stuff. Yeah.
Now that's interesting too. He did find some Rampart EPROMs, and rumor has it that Rampart was completed or 90% completed.
Near completion, yeah.
Now, if you go to Good Deal Games and get their Rampart and spend $40 on that, like I did, like a jackass, you can sit there and be like, all right, there's that. And it looks like a good version, right? It looks like it was going to be good. The graphics are real crisp, and I heard people say, hey, that Rampart was going to be tight.
Yeah.
And so Lance might have found the actual version that was almost completed. That's exciting.
Yeah, and basically he has all that stuff in the warehouse. He has tons and tons of Atari stuff that he hasn't even dug into yet, it sounds like. And basically it's like you said, the board with the chip that says Riot on it, and the prototype board that he found needs 2 chips to work properly. And what he's looking for is the second chip, which is more than likely with everything there. It's just there's multiple chips, so he's got to plug in each one. It sounds like however you do that, I'm sure you got to solder them in or something. I don't know, but once he gets it together, I believe then we'll see what's on there. And it's again, it could be like you said, it could be a near completed game of the 4-wheel drive Road Riot, but
here's the problem with Road Riot.
It's not good.
What a crappy game that was.
It's
not
a
terrible game.
Good.
Now, but the thing is, could it have been? Could they have had to? Because it was like a 3-dimensional game, and the arcade version was like they started using that full motion video, like Pit Fighter, which looks terrible now, but at the time it was like, wow, I can see that, guys. That's an actual nipple on a guy, and I know that excites you. But on the Road Riot 4-wheel drive game, I mean, they might have, to make it a 7800 game, they might have actually made it a decent game.
They could have, yeah. And I mean, who knows? I mean, hopefully Lance will figure it out, and it'll be a Video 61 exclusive of a 90% complete version of
What's he saying here? What does that mean?
So he's basically telling us that he also found some other stuff. He found 128K Save Mary on a 7800 EEPROM, which he thought was different from the 2600 Save Mary EEPROM.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Again, Lance has so much stuff. And here, let me say this now on a public forum. I love Lance and Video 61. I have nothing against Peter. They're great guys. If you want to get new sealed product, go over there. They have great games. Their version of Venture is top tier, 4 out of 5. Is he there?
No, I'm just saying. These people, these fembots are over here, and I'm just like, can you believe what this guy's saying?
Can they believe it?
Well, they're robots. They don't. They just agree with me. That's how they're programmed.
But it's a great company. I love the guys that work there. But again, I rate every game like I
badly.
Yeah, like they're bad, and I talk bad about them.
You do, and that's why they delete. You try to be friends with Peter, and they delete your comment.
And they delete my comment,
and they message me. They're the only people in the entire universe that like me more than you.
And they all like you more than me. Look, Justin likes you more than me because he said, Lance said, the story as I hear it was that Jack Trammell took one look at 7800 Pit Fighter and how bad it looked and put the kibosh on anything more for the 7800. He pulled the plug right then and there, and that's all she wrote. Lance from Video 61 has an update about the EEPROMs that he's posting to his Lance's Laboratory blog on Monday. So if you're not aware, head over to Atari.io. You can see Lance's blog there. If you go into Google and just type in Road Riot FW or 4WD Atari.io, it pops right up. That's how I found it. But head over there, save his blog to your saved links tab.
Don't tell people what to do. I mean, they're not.
You
They're
hate
not.
it when I do that. Don't
They're
you?
not here for that. They don't.
No,
They're
but
not
they
here
want to
for
hear
people-
about this stuff.
People want liberty. They don't want to be told what to do. There's too much oppression with the government.
They want to. They're here for Atari stuff. If you want to know more, then add
You do
it
what
to
you want to do. You sit there, you go, you give him money on the thread, and you go watch him, and you go, he's got 24,000 views, and I get 94. I understand, but don't do what he says unless you really want to.
Jesus Christ!
Just
for telling him to save a link.
Don't save it if you don't want to.
Yeah, don't. I don't care.
Oh, did you hear that? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I care. I've always cared. I've always loved.
Yeah,
There's so much love. There's love dripping from my videos. It's white and creamy, and it gets hard after a few minutes.
There goes my monetization. No.
You mean I can jack up your monetization by cussing?
All you gotta do is cuss and say
topless. You know, if we are topless, I heard there's women that I know that do this and make money. They say it's an impure video. That's the term, impure, with the shoulders exposed. So next week, don't do it. You're gonna jack up your mind. Next week, I'm gonna come with no shirt on.
There you go. And people were asking for that earlier in the Discord. So Atari IO, he's been hunting down more EPROMs and more games. Sounds like he's still looking for more Road Riot 4 WD. But he found another weird 7800 EPROM that he'll share on Monday and some other stuff. So there's more coming out of there. I mean, if you so choose to stay up to date on this, then save the link to your bar. Is that a good way of saying it, Vinny? Is that
I don't know. You mindless drones, follow the leader.
Hey, sheeple.
7,800 programmers commanding you to fill up your computer memory with links he cares about.
And then again, we'll finish off Justin here.
What? You're talking about monetization. Have you heard about what you've said? We're finishing.
Well, because speaking of hard and creamy, next time I'll tell you guys the story of Driver Warner caught masturbating on the 2600 assembly line.
He's lucky.
Now that's love.
I wonder what the lucky kid got that game for Christmas.
You know, I hope. Never mind. Yeah, so that
hope it was
that's
you?
Cool. Yeah. John is going to finish up Justin.
Do you listen to what he says? This is the other thing. He gets all these views, all this money. People love the Atari
all this money.
Pro System Gamer, and
I
you hear
$2.14 a day.
Just the filth that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean
we're gonna finish up Justin here.
Yep.
I don't have nothing against that, but man, there's people here, Christians.
Now the chat's going nuts. Miss Pac-Man is so hot.
You've
driven him blue on it. I mean,
you've driven him into a sexual frenzy. It's like the silent movie Metropolis. The guys are just going, I can't handle it. She's got legs and a brassiere.
Oh God, we might as well just move right into the chat participation portion of the.
I need to read. I haven't been reading the chat.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry about that. No, what about there's other things to talk about too, right?
Yeah, no, we do have a few other things to hit on because, and again, this is a Vinny contribution to the show. Thank you for contributing. Is that the word? Is that how you pronounce it? You came to me with some cool stuff this week where you normally say, hey, just do the show. I'll show up. Now, this week you came to me and said, hey, look at this cool stuff alert.
Oh,
baby. Yeah.
This is sweet.
Let me get the picture up here.
Get that sexy ass picture up there.
So when Vinny first brought this to my attention, I was like, well, whatever. But when I looked at it, I mean, this thing is really cool. It's a baby Pac-Man controller for the 7800, I believe.
Now, first thing, what's the first thing you notice that's bad about this?
That's bad?
Yeah.
The button?
You can't really play 2-button games on that, can you? Because it's like tick. Yeah. So,
but I think he mainly used it because you think about it, it's for baby Pac-Man. In the mazes, you're going to use the joystick, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then
Show them the side there.
Then when you get to the pinball games, you're going to have the buttons on the sides for the flippers.
Dude, is that not hot? That is so freaking sweet.
We thought the chat was getting hot before. We're gonna have to get a mop.
But isn't that cool? I mean, once you turn it to the side, you're like, dude, how much effing money do you want?
You know.
So we've got 99 different. How many controllers do you have for Robotron?
Oh my God, so many.
I mean, there's
Hugo
so many.
sent me another one, which thank you, Hugo.
We have so many Robotron and Time Salvo controllers.
Yep.
But here we go. Baby Pac-Man is one of the best games for the system. And look at that damn thing, man.
Yep. Now I wonder what's the deal with the red button. On this side, there's a red button on the bottom.
You're not supposed to press it. It erases.
I didn't think so.
It erases time. I think. And look at that. I mean, look at that.
And he's making them for like every 7800 release, which is, they're cool. I mean, I don't know. There's something about them I like.
Is this just for him, or is he actually going to sell them?
I was reading the thread, and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I didn't see where he actually was looking to sell them. Maybe he is, but it looks like he's just kind of documenting his progress right now, is what I seen.
What's that one?
Bounce. So is that for the that can't be for a 7800 one.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. That's unheard of. So
yeah,
take it off the screen. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Take it off. Well, that's for our next topic, but we could get into that too. But
that's sweet. That's something there. I'm gonna have to go beat up an old lady at church and take her coin purse and buy that one.
It's like you said, it's awesome that somebody's making a baby Pac-Man controller, and the community always does great stuff like that. So
buy
that.
They're the best. The 7800 is the best one, man.
Yeah, it's 2 buttons on one side, Justin, and 1 button on the other. 3V1 I1J. You can play 2-button games. There are buttons on the side. Okay, so maybe the one side has 2 buttons that we're looking at.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
It takes me a while, Vinny.
I mean, that's why we were setting it up like, look at the buttons. You can't play 2-button games. And we were going to reveal to the people. Yeah. And now they're educating us because they think we're dumb.
Well, I am, but... but yeah,
it's explode. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I don't know how you're sexually wired there, but that's an interesting... I don't know. I need to go to the doctor.
S. Ramirez is following the thread. He likes the side buttons.
Oh my God! What are you talking about? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see old Ramirez in here. He's
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3. So again, educating me. 3VI1J is Evil J. See, you got to spell this stuff out for me, guys. You can't expect me to see this. That doesn't look like evil to me because my eyes.
Hey, and the only crow I care about is the one in his picture.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the new Crow movie. I'm like, I don't care about that.
That's Crow.
Crow T Robot.
Crow T Robot, and what's the other one's name?
The Brandon Lee.
Jayson.
Yeah, the
Joel.
Crow.
There's.
Crow, you're talking about the show.
Yeah.
Tom Servo.
Tom Servo and Gypsy and Joel and all of them. Yeah.
Mike Nelson too.
Well, Mike Nelson. But we might as well finish off our topic so we can get into the there you go. Tom Servo. Thank you, Rex Warden. That's a Cambot. Cambot, when I was younger watching that show, I'm like, why do I never see Cambot? That dumbass, he's recording everything. No, that's why you never see
Public high school.
I know. I mean, but yeah, what a great show that was. We should do a podcast on that show. Anyway.
They're still going.
Are they?
Yeah, they do. They do riffs. There's a 24-hour
riff tracks.
Yeah, they do a 24-hour Mystery Science Theater where it just loops. You can just have it on all night long.
Wow. I might have to check that out.
Robot roll call.
Yep. But real quick, I thought we should give the link some love because again, on my channel, I try to cover everything, give everything love, spread it around the best you can. Make sure you get it on everything. And I haven't
Put
gotten
it,
it.
put it in your mouth.
I haven't gotten it on the
Rub it
links
all
yet.
over your body. What is happening? Did we
I
need to
don't
talk
know.
to-
Why are you talking like this? Anyway,
It's you. I'm just pointing it out.
but there's some cool stuff coming out on the links. I think the first thing I wanted to show off here was Gemtos 2024 exclusive release. So this is like and again, you can follow the thread on
It's candy corn.
Atari Age here, but it's a French convention for every Atari fan that is in Saint-Just-un-Chaussee on May 4th and 5th. During the convention, they're releasing an exclusive Lynx game that you can only get at the convention, but they thought, to be fair, they would put it out for pre-order on Yastuna-games.com, and you can order it, but you don't know what game you're ordering until it comes. So they're hyping that it's something really cool for the Lynx. They're saying if you go to the convention, you can buy a copy. If you want, you can pre-order it. They're not going to tell you what it is until the convention is done and over with. But you can either dump your money in now and hope it's something cool, or wait and hope there's some left after they announce it. So how do you feel about that, Vinny?
Well, it sounds like some groovy bee shit, if you ask me. I mean, it just sounds like buy a game, you have no idea what it's about. I think collectors will do it. I'm sure I'm not calling them crooks. I think it'll be fine, but it's a weird. And I read in the thread that they said that it's a puzzle game, and puzzle games don't sell well, so they thought this would be an interesting way to market it.
I think that's a good way to market a puzzle game. I wasn't going to put that out there because I wanted to help them, but now you just ruined their sale. But S. Ramirez vouches for him. He says he's purchased games from them before.
Cool.
But with that said, he won't buy a game without knowing what it is. So smart man, that S. Ramirez.
He went one way and then he juked us.
He did the old
old head fake. Ramirez got me tackling it at the grass there.
So I thought that was interesting, but there's also a game coming out that we do know what it is, and that's the Lynx Jam. Let me make this bigger actually before I go over here.
What are you talking? What is up with you today? You're gonna make it bigger?
It got bigger. Did you see that? Hold on. See how small and slender it starts out as, and then I hit this button, and it gets bigger and bigger. It like engorges. So this is the Lynx Jam 2023. Same but different physical release that they put out. So they did a Lynx Jam at the end of last year, and during this game jam, if you're not aware, that's where developers get together, they set some rules, and then they pump out some games, and they pump them out fast and hard. But it's an incredible thing to be a part of. So if you haven't had the chance to look at them, they made them available at itch.io/jam/lynxjam-2023. I'll have it in the description or whatever. Where you can download the ROMs, or if you want physical copies, they have limited edition physical copies that you can get for the Lynx. And some of these games look really cool, Vinny. Again, this one I have on screen probably isn't the best.
Well, what is that? It looks like Impossible Mission. Is it? Do we know what that is? Do we have the names?
Yeah, I have the name. Let me read off the name. I can't do both at the same time, but I can certainly do one or the other. So the games are Bowling Beast, Chasm Ward, Dungeon Dawn, Escape from Dungeon of Deja Vu, Final Melee, Fortress Fighter, Grogger.
That's melee.
Huh?
The word is melee, not melee.
It's MELEE, melee.
It's melee.
I mean, where's the A? Melee. Anyway,
it's French.
That's explained. Oui. Hero Dust, a Running Knight, Silly Archery, and this one doesn't have a name on it that I could see. So they've already it's up for pre-order. They've already sold 1/3 of the first batch, but they promise they'll make more.
Is this a bunch of games on one card?
It's 12 games on one cart. So again, you have Silly Archery here, you have Running Knight.
We'll make those, engorge those.
Yeah,
things,
there you
baby.
go. So that's probably an endless runner. It looks like where you're kind of
yeah,
running,
like
avoiding stuff.
Okay, like a fast food
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
This is
text adventure.
yeah, text adventure. It looks like, which is fine.
No, it's
Hero
not.
Dust. This looks like sort of RPG type game.
I like that one for the name. I
Yeah.
like that.
Grogger is really cool. When I first read it, I thought it was gonna be like Frogger, but it looks more like
Tapper,
which is
Yeah.
awesome. And I like the art. That
Oh yeah, that looks good.
yeah, that title screen looks good, and then overall it looks pretty good to me.
That's a good game. That's so fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tapper's great. Here's a Fortress Fighter. Again, this looks like sort of a side-scrolling, maybe not beat 'em up, but maybe just a side-scrolling platform.
I like that. That looks good.
I'm sure some people in the chat will know more, and we'll get to your comments here shortly.
They always do.
Yeah. Here's Melee, Final Melee.
Final Melee.
Yeah.
Melee was a little known female cousin of Bruce Lee,
There you go.
and they never named anyone else Melee after she died. So that's what this
No, she's Lee.
Yes, this is a this looks like a turn-based RPG.
Yeah. So the other one looked more like a dungeon crawler. This looks more like a Final Fantasy style RPG. Here, this looks like another endless runner, maybe, or maybe it's a platformer. I don't know.
Endless runner. I've never heard that genre term before.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're popular.
Are they?
With the kids?
Are they really?
Here's Dungeon Don.
Dungeon.
I
don't know if it's Dungeon Don, like he's some guy that sells.
It
Buicks.
might be Don. No, his name might be Don, and he's in a dungeon.
I think it's Dungeon.
It's Dungeon Dun.
Or he went to Toledo and he can't spell dungeon.
Yeah.
Toledo
I don't know what's
High
that
School.
look like to you.
A big pile of shit.
No, it looks.
No,
good.
I don't know.
Like
I have no idea. I'm just joking there. Whoever
Yeah.
made Dungeon, but
well, and again, that's part of a game jam, so they knock these games out pretty quickly. Like, well, everything you look at, they usually do in a span of a day to maybe 3 days. So
somebody said Dung Ed Don.
Dungadon. That
Well,
sounds
dung.
like hey
Maybe
Dungadon.
Maybe it's a poop game, like Roof Pooper.
Here's Chasm Warden. Chasm. So this is a party game. It looks.
Let
like,
me read Let me read from now on the
Okay.
future shows. I'll be the one that
No,
reads.
go ahead and read this title.
No, I don't want that. That is Bowling.
Bowels
Be asked.
be asked. Bowels be asked. That's probably another hard, creamy one. That looks cool too, though. I like the way that looks.
That's really cool. A lot of these are like dungeon. Am I just picking? And two, are they all like medieval?
Yeah,
based?
they kind of, and that might have been again
like a theme.
Yeah,
This sounds like to me like when you have one of those 24-hour film festivals.
yeah,
You get all the people together and they give you things they give each team a thing they have to write about, and also they have to include a prop or say somebody's name. So yeah, this is interesting. That I don't have the links anymore, but that looks really good, man.
yeah. I mean, I'm getting a link soon. I hope so. I need to grab one of these. So,
Yeah.
Bowling for Bowels. That was the name of that game. Thank you.
Oh,
Randy.
Bowling for Bowels.
I'd like to buy a bowel, please.
Did Franco make that? That sounds like one of his ideas. Franco
Oh,
Dragon.
yeah. Good old Franco. I haven't heard from Franco in a while.
I'm worried about him. He's gonna watch.
Is he?
No, I'm just he just seems like such a strange fellow. I always wonder about what he's like in real life. But
All right, we're to everybody's favorite part of the show, Vinny. Chat participation. So let's see what they've been saying this whole time. I'll start from the beginning.
you're gonna go back and there's like a million.
I'm just
okay.
gonna. Oh, not the beginning. I don't know. I'll go to the middle.
Well, you don't want to
where do
people.
Where do you want me to start, Vinny?
Well, before you do that, I want to say that on my channel, which is the unpopular one, it's the Ugly Girl.
That's Big and Funky Productions.
That's right.
On YouTube. Please
Yes.
like, subscribe, support.
Thank you. I do. We just did 5. Let's talk about the website Atari7800forever.com. I've been fooling around with that for over 20 years, almost 23 years, I think. And you've helped me in the last year or so, Mr. Silverback, and I appreciate that. And so we've always purported every game reviewed.
Yeah.
Well, then the other day I was like, which games on cart have we not reviewed? And there's 44, or there was 44, 45 actually. I was wrong. There's 45. And so I did a quick hitter 5 of these little known games. And then you're going to do a Franco Dragon 5.
Yeah.
And we're going to get that knocked down to 35. And then there's like 10 that are Pac-Man carts. And so anyway, I just released that video this week. If you go to Big and Funky Productions, and we did 5 quick, smaller games. And
the thing with that, Vinny, is all the popular stuff, the homebrews that people really know about, they're going to want to know about. The main retail games, all that stuff's reviewed. The stuff that's kind of left is the hard to find, like the really obscure stuff that you might want to learn about on like a whim, but.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are have only 5 carts were released and made. I mean, some of them are hacks. Some of them are things you only see on eBay once every 12 years. I mean, they're very hard to get stuff. The only game we haven't reviewed that was a major release is Junior Pac-Man, besides the new stuff at Atari.
Yeah, I was going to say the new PRGE 2023 stuff. There's some good comments here, Vinny.
All right, let's. I was just going to say, if you're interested in some of the Atari stuff, but I think they were right about the Atari Lynx puzzle games. I mean, one of their big games was called what? Chopping Ties. It's like a family. It's like it reminded me of Michael J. Fox and Family Ties. He was a Republican. He always wore it, and I was just like, that looks like the worst game I've ever seen. It might be great, but I'm not excited.
Yeah, I think another big one on there was Hatris for a while. Ramey says Clax rocks. Well, I do. I love Clax, actually. Clax is great.
Why did he say that?
I don't know.
Clax is good.
Well, I mean, I'm going backwards, so we're going to get the story. Here, let me start at the bottom.
What?
Let me go to the bottom of the chat.
No, you got to go back to.
Well, no, let me go, because it's so damn long. Okay.
See, what is your deal today with the euphemisms? Let me start at the bottom because it's so damn long. You just said that came out of your mouth, and I just said that came out of your mouth.
Yeah. Let's see. Philip Lawrence says, "Dump all the money." I believe that was from when we were talking about the Link stuff. Yeah, because that's right when S. Ramirez said, "I won't buy a game without knowing what it is." John speaks French so well; he needs a beret. I got kind of a. No, that's a man bun. S. Ramirez, good policy. I mean, buying a game blind is only for stupid collectors like me. So we got a couple. That's what she says from Evil J. Thank you for teaching me how to read your name. Ramey Butler, you get the blue pill to sponsor the stream. Think Viagra would sponsor an Atari? I think they would sponsor an Atari podcast.
We're all of the age that most of us probably need it if we have women.
One of us is butthead, according to Philip Loran. Jerome. Hey, Jerome, I didn't realize you were in here. Good to see you. Jerome!
I'm in the house, Morris.
Possible Mission. That's a good one.
Well, that looks like, to me, that looked like Possible Mission, that one game, but it wasn't. So maybe that's what you thought, too.
Perfect French. Thank you for recognizing that. Here we go. Melee, Mr. Engorge. Is that French? No. What's this? Omelette du fromage. Abe Froman. I think that was our name.
You don't have to read every one.
I want to read.
Some of these are not great.
What do you mean? Everything they put in here is great. Just a reminder, if you don't like this crappy show, ZPH stream starts in 30 minutes. Thanks, PG, for everybody. Get the fuck
By the way,
get out of here. That 0 page is starting.
John, let's stop for a second. Leave that up there.
Okay.
Seriously, what the fuck you guys doing watching us? Go over the 0 page homebrew, the real Atari podcast. Show. We're just a couple of assholes. I think me and John are this weekend. Our biggest plans are we're both going to steal some catalytic converters. I mean, we're just deplorable people. Go visit the French or the nice little Canadian people with the cats and watch that show.
Okay.
Zero page homebrew, Evil J. It's the best Atari
It's not
podcast.
that great. Come on. Oh, PG,
Yes, it
let him
is.
know. Zero pay. Oh, is that because I've been trying to trade you to them? Is that why you're sucking up to them? Because I've been trying to get a Zamboni for in exchange for you.
They're not gonna trade for me. I'm too old.
No, they will.
I've got a trick knee.
Here's what an endless runner is. Thanks, Rex Warden. Endless runner games are popular for people who have to watch Family Guy clips alongside other videos while simultaneously playing mobile game. So, in other words, young children. So, and then he teaches us done, get on, like Armageddon, done, get on.
Man, these guys make great games and they come up with terrible titles. I'll tell you that much.
Raimi said is knock it out quick. That's what my wife says. I don't know what.
Get off of me fast.
Oh, okay. I thought he meant like knock her out and just do what you want afterwards.
What the hell?
Huh?
What did you say that for?
Rex doesn't have a Lynx, only the Jaguar. Stuff I have is a controller and its box. So you have a Jaguar and a controller and a box. That's it.
Well, I mean, good God. I mean, he probably doesn't make $8 million a year.
Yeah. I don't $600.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Justin, what's that, Vinny?
Just read through them. I don't know why we're doing this if you're not letting me comment on them.
No, comment. Go ahead. Say it.
I can't even remember.
We got to rush through so they can get the zero page.
Why are you reading every one? But the thing is, like,
there's some good stuff.
Well, there's some that's not. But like,
okay.
The thing,
next week, Vinny's running the show, guys.
No. I just don't. I just don't understand how any. That's the first time you made me laugh today. So,
only time too.
How can you blame a guy for not want to buy Atari Jaguar stuff? It's too damn expensive, and the games, most of them are god awful. I did now on your channel, a game I never even thought of.
Watch what you're saying.
What's the top down racing game again? Power Drive Rally.
Power Drive Rally. Yep.
That looked great.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Very good. So that's got to be one of the top.
Got 3 out of 5.
3. What is wrong with you? Was it just because you were picked on so much? You love these games, you give them 2.5 out of 5?
I love the game, but there isn't a whole lot. Like there's one game mode is all. Like I would have liked just a little bit more to it.
Is it a prototype or was it a
No,
release?
It's a full release.
God, and they didn't. You just said full release. I don't. What is the deal today? I mean, are you in need of something? Do we need to send over an escort?
These guys got to get to the zero page thing. We got to get through this.
I'm trying to get. What is going on with you sexually today? We need to call Dr. Ruth. We need to go get a couple shovels and a flashlight and dig up Dr. Ruth, and we'll see what's going on with you today, man.
Dig her up, pop open the casket. There's something wrong with this guy. Hey,
you can tell every sentence he says is shrouded with
yeah, need a necromancer.
Yeah. It's shrouded with sexual innuendo. And what is Bitcoin?
Anyway.
You're gonna dig her up, and she's just gonna fall out of the casket.
Anyway,
that's
Lynx is underrated. Read that one.
No, you're in the power seat. Go ahead.
Lynx underrated. I'm not reading it.
Okay, Lynx is underrated. Hands down my favorite Atari system other than the 7800. As much as I love the 7800, the Lynx has gone with me on almost every trip for the past 35 years. That's love. That's love.
Nice. That's just in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Screw Baby Cat, Vinny. She sucks donkey smalls.
Oh yeah, I had a copyright strike. You had a copyright strike a couple weeks ago with the lava lamp and 8-track theater lady who was angry that you hated her terrible game, and she did. And I had the same thing. We started a new show on my channel called Tuesday Tubi Movie Night, where we were promoting bad movies on Tubi, and the creators or the producers of Baby Cat gave me one of those copyright strikes that can destroy your channel. So now we're in a litigation. I'm not joking. I know we joke a lot. I'm in a litigation to have that strike removed so I can keep doing Tuesday.
So you did the dispute?
Yeah, and we're going to try to keep the show going because I think it's ridiculous. There's no way that can stand in court that we ripped them off. I mean, all we did was talk about their terrible movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be and again, there's a lot of people that do reviews and stuff.
Absolutely.
Essentially what you were doing. I mean, you're talking
Same
about
thing with you.
right. Yeah.
And that was the same thing. She was like, you used my original artwork, which looked like my 12-year-old could have drew that with her butt cheeks. It was terrible. What a crazy chick that is.
That I'll have to dig into that sometime on the channel and
we should have a fist fight between Lava Lamp, DJ Nurse, and the baby cat.
Baby cat.
And then when they're in there,
win?
When they're fighting, we just take an M16 and just shoot them both.
Just take them out. Because you were talking about the movie. I didn't get to watch it before they struck it. But you were talking about the movie and what you played a couple clips or the trailer or something.
Yeah, just whatever. But it's like not even a clip. It was the trailer. But like the thing is supposed to be like our show Tuesday Tubi movie night. It's supposed to be like a book club.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks we do the show. You watch the movie that we're going to watch. You get in the chat. We all talk about the movie.
Well, that's a good idea, actually.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And we can talk about how bad the movies are. And Baby Cat actually had some good stuff about it, and we praised it when it deserved it. Who knows?
Wow. And they probably didn't even see that part. They just
Well, they live in LA, so they're probably taking it way too serious, even though that movie is just
yeah. So they're out in LA like doing the thing, and
they're doing the thing, and they don't want any ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything we can do to support you, Vinny? I know me in the chat.
You in the chat.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Your boys in the back. I got you.
The boys in the back.
Thank you, fellas.
Let's see. Evil J. I'm ashamed to say I've had a Jaguar for about 20 years and never played Jaguar. I've had a Jaguar for 20 years and never played Jaguar. What? How do you have something for 20 years? Like I have like games for like a month that I haven't touched, and then eventually I get to it. Man,
I mean, it's not on his radar. I mean, the Jaguar is not a good system, man. So I mean, it's tough for some people.
Hey, Ramey, Vinny's son says, hey.
Oh, the CRT's still working there, Ramey. So thank you. On my last video, he was like, hey, your CRT sounds like it's about to explode. So
gotcha.
It's still rocking and rolling.
Let's see here.
Tell him I said hello.
I see you got me. I don't know what counts as a good comment. You got me. Philip Lauren, sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
That's a good comment to you?
Is that a good comment?
I mean, it's a deep cut. Who is this guy that would sit there and think about what was that? That was on the end of those shows with the Black Dog and the Friendsby. You remember that?
Yep.
It was a production company. And why in the hell would he say that?
Toad Muncher wants to know what's our thoughts on Playagen. He asked that at the beginning of the podcast, and I didn't want to answer that for him because I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Vinny?
We have no thoughts. I live in Tennessee. He's from Toledo. We barely can function as human beings.
He asked us to look. What is it? Look at the logo, and he wanted our honest opinions. Let me type this in off stream just in case it's something dirty.
You guys have a few minutes left before you have to go check out Zero.
Yeah, Zero Page Homebrew starts in 12 minutes, guys. Playagen.
Superior.
Boop, I'm a computer.
Podcast. If you watch that podcast, you may get to see a cat butthole.
Is it a Twitter account? Toe Muncher? Let me know. I'll look at it and
you're steering the show around at the whim of a guy named Toe Muncher.
Viagra. Well, we have a mutual love of toes. Ryan Garber. Viagra equals one sexy controller. If you've seen, never mind. I ain't even gonna go there.
Who are these people? Are these your friends?
No, I don't know. They're viewers, Vinny. We are reaching a
wider
I don't have audience. Those. They're all on the Big and Funky channel. Actually, look at that. Do the happy dance.
I'm fine.
Vinny's not in a happy mood tonight.
I'm old. My back hurts.
Is that what it is?
I've just had a rough. It's just been a rough.
Justin said Dr. Ruth is still alive, dumb. She's 95.
Holy God.
Wow. This guy, Sir K. Danko wants to know if we're high or something. This must be their first time here.
Are they high or smithing? We're smithing. We're making leather armor for our MMORPG later on.
I think that's working with metal.
Danko.
Ramey defended us though and said it's his favorite podcast.
Well,
Let's see. Man, there's a ton of comments.
well, we don't have time to go through them all.
Well, I guess Vinny really wants you guys to go check out Zero Page.
I'll tell you what, if you really want your comment read, you can donate some money to John's Children's College Fund there with the super chat.
Oh,
but
too
so
late for them.
you got a video that yeah, their vocational
donate a lot of money for
vocational school is out of reach. You have a great video I can't wait to check out, and it's doing real well on your channel. It's the Red Box Atari 2600 video.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is it about that burgundy box? I don't know what it is. I don't care about the 2600 very much, but I would like to have a complete burgundy box collection. There's something about those burgundy boxes. I don't know if it was the time or just the color. What do you think it is?
There's definitely something appealing about them to me. And again, I if you watch the video, a lot of it is probably because, I was a 7800 kid and keyword was a kid. And the 2600 games of the time were the red box games. I mean, that was pretty much what was out there. So,
okay,
some of it's nostalgia, but I do like it. I like how uniform it is on the shelf. Some people like the rainbow colored stuff of the past, the silver stuff. I see the silver stuff. The rainbow stuff I like, but I like the how uniform everything looks.
It's like and some of those games are more advanced. You've got Roadrunner's really good. You've got Dark Chambers, Fatal Run. You got Solaris, however you pronounce it, which is fantastic. So a lot of those. You got Off the Wall, which is. Hey, I was going to talk to you now. Nobody else. This is just between me and you. So
okay,
me and you are talking. We're trying to right. Let's do this real quick.
Yeah.
You can't hear us.
Okay.
Whisper. So we're trying to come up with the greatest the greatest 100 Atari games of all time. So I'm doing a lot of research.
Oh wow!
And the
I'm just throwing darts at a wall.
Well, I'm actually trying to make it
be number one. But
yeah, that's how you got 24,000 viewers of video, and I'm at 106.
Yeah,
but anyway,
research is for chumps.
I guess so. But so I'm looking at Off the Wall. And the Off the Wall arcade game is so different than the Off the Wall game for the Atari 2600. Because the Off the Wall at the arcade, the paddles are on the side, and you're trying to break a communal box. You could have two players, and the backgrounds are hilarious because they all look like the carpet of a 90s movie theater. They're like these really shitty, like purples and greens and stuff. And then when you play Off the Wall for the 2600, it's more like a typical breakout game with a weird kind of worm, and there's a dude with a shield. Yeah. And it's like, what is it? That's the craziest thing. The arcade version is freaking great. It's a great game, dude. And that may make the top 100.
And again, that's Justin maybe can talk. Maybe old Happy Jack didn't like the idea of the arcade version. I don't know. I don't know why they did a lot of stuff they did during that time.
Are you familiar with the arcade version at all?
I didn't know it was any different. I mean, I just assumed that the 2600 right.
Okay, that's all you have to say. You're like my wife. Just say no. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. We'll run the podcast like that, Vinny. No. Next question. Yes.
Do you know? No, you don't have to elaborate. It's okay to be ignorant. We're both ignorant of so much stuff. There's so much stuff in this Atari shit. That's what this episode was about. Was that interview shedding the light on ignorance?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we got 7 minutes until Zero Page starts.
Zero Page, counting down the seconds.
Make sure we should just call this the Zero Page Homebrew
with the fluffers
pre-show. Yeah,
with the Zero Page Homebrew fluffers.
Yep, we should put a timer on the screen.
We're getting everybody ready to rock and roll.
Make sure you tell them we sent you. They'll say who?
Yeah, they don't fucking know who we are.
Who is that? You came from where?
Is that the Americans are doing that?
Yeah, who is that? The guy? Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, I think this went pretty well. All things
Yeah?
considered. What do you let's wrap things up here, Vinny. What do you have to promote? What do you want to
Oh
push
God.
on to the people?
Well, I know Hugo has asked me several times. My game room video is happening, but I have a friend that I haven't seen in years coming to the house. So I've been not only am I running the business and doing all the stuff with Big and Funky, but like I'm trying to prepare the house for a house guest. And I've spent 5 hours trying to get the slow drain in my tub to work and just a bunch of crap like that. I'm putting up shelves. But that's coming out and on the Big and Funky Productions YouTube page. We're going to have a Wrestling with Ghosts coming up in next Friday at 7:30. There's always something on our channel at 7:30 on Fridays. And we do a paranormal show that airs on TV, but we are also releasing these on YouTube. Don't forget the movies. We're waiting any day now for Camp Smokey to hit Tubi, but we've got our horror comedies and our comedy movies
Your
are
what
everywhere.
comedies?
Horror. I can't say that word. Horror. The horror. And I'm talking about my grandmother. I'm talking about, like the thriller genre. But yeah, that's all that over there. And I just did a video about 5 hard to find smaller Atari 7800 games for Atari7800forever.com, the biggest Atari 7800 website on the planet. And every game will be reviewed. And we're talking every damn game that's ever been out. So that's what I got, baby. What you got?
And would you say that they should go watch your stuff?
Sure.
No, don't go watch. They have the right to choose, Vinny, if they want to watch your stuff.
I just put it out. See, the difference between me and you is you're saying,
Okay.
do this, minions. I'm
I say
higher than
do.
you because I'm making money on YouTube and you're all my slaves. And I'm like, I love America and freedom and baby Jesus and apple pie and cheeseburgers. Do what you want.
Okay, so you love America.
I do.
All
See,
right.
look at this. I
Just
got an American shirt right now. It's Bootsy Collins for president. You've got an Atari shirt. Well, that's actually cooler than mine. So,
Oh, your shirt's cool. Yeah,
both cool shirts.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to Big and Funky Productions on YouTube. A lot of cool stuff going on there. I really liked your last video, the 5 game reviews. I thought that turned out really good. I liked some of the effects he had on there too. I really enjoyed
5 easy pieces.
5 easy pieces. They were good reviews too. Too generous on the scores, I'd say, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, on the Atari Network channel, we had the Redbox game video come out. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and give it a watch. If you so choose to do so, I would never force anybody to watch my stuff, unlike
Please
what
don't.
Vinny says.
There's too many fascists in the world.
We also started a Discord server if you want to get on there and chat with other Atari Network people. Thank you to Hugo for setting that up and kind of running it. I appreciate that. There's a Patreon if you want to get exclusive behind the scene videos, all that stuff. Exclusive audios and stuff like that is on there as well. And we have more stuff coming up. Like we said, the full interview. If you enjoyed the talk with Jayson Hill, and again, what a cool guy. I mean,
awesome guy.
Cutting it down was hard because I wanted to keep in so much, but I just wanted it to be a little taste because there is about 40 more minutes that you didn't see that you can catch on Big and Funky Productions and the Atari Network. Either or, subscribe to both. Vinny will have his video out first, so maybe do that one first.
Toe Muncher's going sideways over there. What are we supposed to see, Toe Muncher? This is the thing. You've mentioned this 3 times that I've seen. I'm not even looking at the chat tonight.
About the logo. Is it good?
He wants us to look.
So
we can't find the logo.
No, I think I found it. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Toe Muncher, stay right here. Everybody else is free to disperse. So let's see here.
Get your drink before Zero Page comes on.
Yeah, get your beverage, your snack. Make some popcorn. That's healthy.
If you get if you have a cat allergy, make sure you take your pills. The Benadryl.
Oh yeah, God, cats. What's the deal with the cats?
They like cats.
Yeah, but why?
People do.
Is this it, Toe Muncher? Is this?
Play again. Play again. Play I again.
Hey, you figured that one out all
Are
by
we?
yourself.
This is like there was a license plate game show once upon a time. We had to figure out.
I like him. Beep boop. I'm a computer.
So play again. Play I again.
Yeah, play
I game.
Play a game.
I like it.
How would Atari dress like?
How would Atari?
Is that how Atari would dress, you think?
It was a little Mario-ish to me there.
Yeah, it's kind of Mario. That's kind of really the color choice. Yeah, I'd maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think the Atarians would be more sexual because apparently that was just a big cesspool of
Oh my god, I couldn't read half the comments.
Well, I'm just talking about Nolan Bushnell back then. It was all about,
yeah.
It was a big freaknik.
Yeah, he was something else.
I like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like. See, the thing about logos is like simple seems to be really good.
I'd have him flipping the boat.
Yeah, if you can have a little finger popping up right
Flip
there.
the boat. He's like running in traffic, going, "Get out of my way! I got to go play the Atari."
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I like it. Toe Muncher. I think that's great. If you could get some toes on there, even better. But
yes, have in giant toes.
Yeah, big toe.
And make people go, yeah, man. Like, what's going on with this toe guy? He's playing it again. He's playing the games with his toes.
Right. No, I like it, Toe Muncher. I think it's a nice, clean logo. I could see it becoming part of a corporate entity. You'll probably go further than me or Vinny ever will. So.
Oh well, me definitely. He's already passed me. I'm sure he's trying to get after you now.
I like that the Atari mascot should be a yellow square. Absolutely.
I'm thinking of also bad color schemes. I like the Bentley Bear. Oversized crazy hat with this he's a magician, which he has no magical powers. I don't know why he's wearing a magician's hat.
Yeah.
He can jump high. I don't know if that's his only power, but
yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty good. All right, make sure you subscribe to Big and Funky Productions on YouTube. Check out the 5/7800 game mini reviews. Support Vinny in his effort to defeat the baby cat. There's cat hair all over his house.
Maybe Zero Page Homebrew.
Oh shoot! They already started.
They are with Baby Cat in some sort of weird stamping out of the funk. We're gonna have to investigate that.
I think there might be something going on there.
All right, guys, love you. Thank you for the fun.
Yep.
Chat.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Next show is in 2 weeks, 2 Fridays from now. See you guys later.